After 75, your muscles are disappearing faster than you think. And the one food most doctors tell you to eat for protein is actually making it worse. If you want to hold on to your strength, your independence, and your quality of life as you age, hit that subscribe button right now. We share science-backed health tips like this every single day, and what I'm about to share could genuinely change how you eat, how you move, and how strong you feel for the rest of your life. Here is what most people do not understand about aging and muscle. After the age of 70, your body loses roughly 1 to 2% of its muscle every single year. That does not sound like much, but by the time you are 75 or 80, that adds up to serious weakness in your legs, your arms, your balance. Doctors call this sarcopenia. Think of it like slow-motion shrinking of the very thing keeping you upright and moving. And for years, the advice has been simple. Eat more eggs, get more protein. That is what you have been told, right? But here is the thing. That advice is incomplete. And there is one fruit almost nobody is talking about that changes the game completely for adults over 75. Now, before we go any further, I want to hear from you. Tell me your age and where you are watching from in the comments below. This truly helps us understand who we are reaching and how we can keep creating content that actually helps you. Drop your age and your city or country right now. We read every single comment. So let me start by talking about what most people get completely wrong. Most seniors believe that eating eggs every morning is the gold standard for muscle protein. And yes, eggs are good. A large egg gives you about 6 grams of protein. That is solid. But here is what the research is now showing, and this is the part that will surprise you. Protein absorption in adults over 70 is not the same as protein absorption at 40 or 50. Your digestive system changes. Your gut becomes less efficient at breaking down animal proteins and pulling out the specific building blocks your muscles actually need. A 2021 study from Maastricht University in the Netherlands found that adults over 70 absorb plant-based protein sources differently than younger adults, and that certain fruit-derived proteins trigger muscle protein synthesis, which is the scientific term for muscle building, more efficiently than conventional animal protein sources in that age group. The researchers specifically noted that leucine, which is the most important amino acid for building and preserving muscle, was utilized more effectively when it came from certain whole food plant sources rather than heavily processed animal proteins. Let that sink in for a moment. The food you have been counting on for decades may not be doing the job it used to do for your body at this stage of life. The fruit we are talking about today is guava. Yes, guava. This small, humble fruit that costs almost nothing at most grocery stores contains a complete amino acid profile, meaning it has all 9 essential amino acids your body cannot make on its own. 1 cup of guava gives you 4.2 grams of protein. That is nearly as much protein as an egg, but the difference is in how your aging body uses it, and we are going to break that down step by step right now. Number 5. The leucine problem. Nobody talks about. Most people think that as long as you eat enough protein, your muscles will respond and grow stronger. But actually, the story is much more complicated than that. Your muscles do not care how much total protein you eat. They care about one specific amino acid called leucine. Leucine is like the ignition key in a car. You can have a full tank of gas, meaning plenty of protein, but without the key, the engine will not start. After 75, your muscles become resistant to lower amounts of leucine. Scientists call this anabolic resistance. Anabolic means building up, so anabolic resistance means your muscles are harder to build. You need more leucine per meal to actually trigger muscle repair and growth. A 2022 study from Tufts University in Boston found that adults over 75 need roughly 40% more leucine per meal than adults in their 40s just to achieve the same level of muscle protein synthesis. Now here is where guava becomes remarkable. Guava does not just contain leucine. It contains a combination of leucine, vitamin C, and specific plant compounds called polyphenols. These polyphenols act like a signal amplifier. They make the leucine work harder. Think of it like turning up the volume on a radio. The signal, which is the leucine, is already there. The polyphenols in guava just make it louder and more effective. What you can do right now: eat 1 cup of fresh guava within 30 minutes of any physical activity, even a short walk. That post-movement window is when your muscle cells are most hungry for protein signals. This timing alone can increase your muscle protein synthesis by 20 to 30% more than eating the same food hours later. But wait until you see number 4, because this one challenges everything you thought you knew about protein digestion. Number 4, your gut is changing and protein absorption is suffering. Most people think digestion works the same way at 75 as it did at 45. But actually, your gut lining changes significantly with age. The cells that absorb nutrients become slower, the enzymes that break down animal proteins decrease in production, and the inflammation that builds up in the gut over decades starts blocking absorption at the cellular level. Here is a simple way to think about it. Imagine your gut as a warehouse loading dock. At 40, you have 10 workers unloading the protein truck quickly and efficiently. At 75, you might only have 4 workers. The same truckload of eggs or chicken takes twice as long to unload, and some of it spoils before it even gets in the door. A 2020 study from the University of Birmingham in England found that older adults had significantly impaired digestion of dense animal proteins like hard-boiled eggs compared to softer, more bioavailable plant protein sources. Bioavailable just means how easily your body can actually use what you eat. The study found that fruit-based protein sources were processed 34% more efficiently in adults over 70. Guava's fiber content plays a huge role here. The fiber in guava acts as a prebiotic, which is food for the healthy bacteria living in your gut. When those good bacteria are fed well, they produce compounds that actually help your gut wall absorb protein more efficiently. It is a cycle. More guava, better gut bacteria, better protein absorption, more muscle. Practical step. If you currently have digestive discomfort after eating eggs or meat, start replacing 1 egg per day with half a cup of guava paired with a small handful of hemp seeds. Hemp seeds add an additional 10 grams of complete protein and blend perfectly with the guava to create a powerful muscle-building combination. Quick question before we continue. Have you noticed that your legs feel weaker, or that you get tired more easily than you did a few years ago? Comment yes or no below. Your answer helps us know how many people watching this are dealing with muscle loss right now, and it guides what content we make next. Number 3. Inflammation is eating your muscle, and most people never address it. Most people think muscle loss in seniors is just about not eating enough protein. But actually, chronic inflammation, which is long-term low-level swelling inside your body, is silently destroying muscle tissue, even when your diet looks perfect. Think of inflammation like a slow fire burning in your walls. You cannot see it from outside, but it is doing damage every single day. This type of inflammation is called inflammaging. That word is a combination of inflammation and aging, and it is now considered one of the primary drivers of muscle loss in adults over 70. When your body is inflamed, it releases chemicals called cytokines. These cytokines signal your body to break down muscle tissue for energy, instead of building it up. So even if you are eating plenty of protein, a highly inflamed body will keep tearing down muscle faster than you can build it. A 2023 study from Stanford University School of Medicine found that adults over 75, with the highest levels of inflammatory markers, specifically a protein called C-reactive protein or CRP, lost muscle mass at a rate 3 times faster than those with low inflammation. 3 times faster, even when protein intake was identical. Now here is why guava matters so much in this context. Guava contains one of the highest concentrations of vitamin C found in any food. 1 cup of guava has 228 milligrams of vitamin C. That is more than twice the daily recommended amount, and vitamin C is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory compounds we have. But it is not just the vitamin C. Guava also contains quercetin and lycopene. These are natural plant compounds that directly block the inflammatory cytokines we just talked about. Think of them as firefighters rushing into those burning walls and putting out the flame. Practical step. Make a simple guava smoothie every morning using 1 cup of fresh or frozen guava, 1 tablespoon of flax seeds, and half a cup of plain Greek yogurt if you tolerate dairy, or coconut yogurt if you do not. Blend it up. Drink it within the first hour of waking. You are not just getting protein, you are actively fighting the inflammation that steals your muscle. Before we go further, if this is making sense so far, and you are learning something new, hit that like button right now. It tells me that you want more videos like this, and it helps this information reach other seniors who need to hear it. Number 2, your body needs more than protein to build muscle. It needs the right fuel partner. Most people think muscle building is purely a protein game. Get enough protein, do a little exercise, done. But actually, protein alone cannot build muscle without the right cofactors working alongside it. Cofactors are nutrients that act as partners, helping protein do its job. Think of it this way. If protein is the bricks to build a wall, cofactors are the mortar. Without the mortar, the bricks just stack up loosely and fall apart. The three most critical muscle-building cofactors for adults over 75 are magnesium, potassium, and folate. And here is the stunning part. Guava contains all three in significant amounts. 1 cup of guava gives you 36 milligrams of magnesium, 688 milligrams of potassium, and 81 micrograms of folate. Magnesium activates the enzymes that synthesize protein inside your muscle cells. Without enough magnesium, your body literally cannot complete the protein-to-muscle conversion process. Potassium helps your muscle cells stay hydrated and electrically charged so they can contract properly during movement. And folate supports the repair of muscle cell DNA, which is critical because every time a muscle fiber is stressed during exercise, small amounts of DNA damage occur that must be repaired quickly. A 2019 study from the University of Sydney in Australia found that seniors with adequate magnesium levels had 11% greater muscle strength and 25% better muscle function compared to those who were deficient. And over 60% of adults in Western countries over the age of 70 are estimated to be magnesium deficient.